Massachusetts. Here, start us off. Winnie, good afternoon. How are you today, pal? What do you have? Win.
Wonderful. Having a great day today. It's beautiful here in Massachusetts.
Yeah, nice day. Nice day today.
Yeah,
no
awesome.
question about it.
And, Elgin Baylor, may he rest in peace, but what a great spot with Gail Goodrich that took my mind going all the way back and learning more about Elgin, took my mind off all the nonsense Celtic trade rumors and the ridiculousness that's going on with the team.
And how about the Stevens rumors to Indiana? Did he has addressed that twice? Give me a little rundown on that. Go ahead.
Yeah, publicly at least, as far as everyone is concerned, organization, Brad, they came out Friday night, and basically he just said, "I'm staying." He called himself a masshole, which maybe you've heard that term for a nickname for anyone from Massachusetts would never call themselves that. So that just tells me he's not. So anyways, they're saying he's not going. I wish he would. You know how I feel about this. He's a big problem, and they just need a change. They need a change. Chris, you tell me, what coach lasts 8 years, doesn't win anything, doesn't even get to the finals, and his team is in a dismal slump? They look like they don't like to play for him. What coach lasts that long and survives that? I mean, the Bruins got rid of Claude Julien. The second he started to nosedive and he lost his team. Is there another coach that can last this long and survive this?
Good question. Ainge is good with coaches. I'd have to go back and look in this era. If you've been around that long without winning, Andy Reid lasted a long time with the Eagles. He was there 13 years.
Made the
but
Super
I do
Bowl.
understand. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, he did. He did make the Super Bowl. Is it 50-50 with the fan base up there, or are you just one of the negatives who wants to call me to tell me how much you can't stand him?
Well, I wanted to talk about Elgin, but I don't know if it's quite 50-50, and it's hard for me to tell. My group of friends who are serious Celtic fans, we're done with him for the most part. I'd say 90% of us. You go on the internet and things like that. You see both sides. You see people defending him. This is an off year. He's statistically been a good defensive coach. It's not him. He hasn't lost the team. It's the players. It's the NBA is a players' league. The players should be motivating themselves to play defense better and hustle. I'm not sure what percentage it is, but there's definitely people. I'm not the only one. We're not in the vast minority. There's plenty who see and or just feel there's a change. These are the Boston Celtics. Like you say, you couldn't think of someone who's lasted that long. I can't. And this is, anyways, I'd rather talk about Elgin Baylor,
Go ahead.
than Brad.
Go ahead. Let me hear.
So a couple of things. A buddy of mine does trivia with me. We text each other trivia questions. Him and Wilt are the only two players that had multiple seasons averaging 30 points or more and 18 rebounds a game.
I didn't know that.
Multiple seasons of that, which is unbelievable to think about with some of the athletes, even Bill Russell. You think about.
Well, the rebounds. I mean, there was a lot of. Remember in those days, there was a lot of teams went up and down the court a lot. Kuzi had 29 assists in the game. I mean, so there was a lot of missed shots. So you're going to get a lot of rebounds based on the fact that the shooting percentages weren't quite as good. So the rebound totals will be a little higher than normal. But you're right. For a 4 or 5 year period, Elgin was averaging 35, 36 a game. And, I wonder if that had a little something to do with him and Wilt because, they fought for scoring championships throughout. And for a 4 or 5 year period there, Elgin was the second best scorer in the NBA, but Wilt was the first. And I wonder if that bothered Elgin at all, that, he'd score 71 one week, and then Wilt would score 100 the next week. I wonder if that bothered him at all on that. But anyway, that was one thing. Go ahead. Second
point.
On him.
And then just doing a little more research. I wasn't alive for it. My favorite finals that I wasn't here. I was born in '69. Is that '69 final? I'm just doing some more reading about it, and I think I'd read this part a long time ago, but I actually searched out, tried to find a video of this. But Baylor was involved in Game 4. The Lakers took the first two games of that series.
Right.
And Baylor was involved in a crucial play at the end of Game 4 with the Celtics down 2-1. The Lakers had an 80, I think it was 88-87 lead, something like that.
The Celtics won that game by a basket. Go ahead. What happened?
They did, and Baylor, I can't find video of this, Chris, driving me crazy. Baylor stepped out of, I guess there was a questionable call about after an the Lakers had the ball with about 7 or 8 seconds left. They inbounded, and there was a questionable call. He was called out of bounds when Baylor caught the ball, and I guess there was some controversy around that. And then right after that, they ended up the Celtics inbound to Hondo, and Siegfried and Bailey Howell set a couple of double picks for Sam Jones. He nails a shot, and the Celtics tie the series. So I would love to find out what really happened there with Baylor.
Yeah, good call, Winnie. That is a series. There are 2 series, folks, if you care about this. There are 2 series that really the Lakers should have beaten Boston. That is one. There's no excuse for that. That's the 68-69 final. That's Russell's last year. Lakers were up 2-0, 3-2, had home court. Celtics finished in 4th place that year in the Eastern Conference. They beat the Knicks in 6 games to get to the final. And that is a series that there is absolutely no way that the Lakers should have lost. And that's the famous Game 7 when Wilt took himself out of the game. That's one. The other series, now I don't know if they should have won this series, but go look at the 61-62 final. That's the series where Elgin at the 61 in the post in I don't know what game it was. It was a game in Boston, 3 or 4. Had the huge game. And remember, that's the series where the Celtics won Game 7 in overtime, but not before Frank Selvey had a 12-foot jump shot to win in regulation at the end of regulation, which would have given the Lakers a championship. Think about that. Think about how the Lakers-Celtics scenario would have changed if that ball by Selvey goes in. Bounced high off the win and bounced out. And the Celtics won, I think, in 1 overtime. Not in 2. 1. You know, the Celtics, folks, in the Russell era, they won 2 championships in Game 7 at home in overtime. The Hawks in 57, they beat them, and the Lakers in 61-62. I got to get to that Lakers score. Eddie will find it for us. We'll take a timeout. We continue. We're on Mad Dog Unleashed.